What's up, guys? My name is Raphael Ortiz and I do pop art tattoos. I grew up in Phoenix where there is so much art, like West Coast inspired art. I definitely love like the lowrider culture that probably inspired me to get into art. Everyone has tattoos there, and growing up, I mean, I would see people come out of prison with, you know, full sleeves and full bags of like amazing artwork. I mean, I got my first tattoo at 16 in somebody's apartment. It was like the president of a lowrider bike club. He gave me my first tattoo for like 25 bucks. $5 a letter of my mom's name, and I feel like that kind of started it all for me into tattooing. I would say how my tattoo style came about was I was visiting my friend one day in his studio in the Bronx. My friend Sen Tu, and his paintings are very pop art with the, you know, girls with the lips, the very iconic imagery, the eyes, the lips, and I loved it. I love his style. But I wanted to make it definitely more mine, and, you know, for tattoo sakes, I wanted just to make it cool and fun. So, you know, I took some imagery from there, and, you know, I put my own spin on it and kind of ran with it, and I have been for the past few years. I would definitely say that I'm inspired by one of my friends, Sen Tu. I love his stuff a lot. Definitely Roy Lichtenstein. I've tattooed some of his paintings. I love his work still to this day. Andy Warhol for sure. Basquiat, Keith Haring. I love all those guys. I mean, there's so many to name. Even, you know, popular guys today like Cause and you know, Buff Monster, and there's so many. You know, I can take. I mean, I can name for, you know, the next hour or so. Before I was a painter, I was a tattooer. I only started painting, I would say, in 2018. I think my tattooing helped my painting. Of course, you know, with tattooers, everything has to be perfect, everything has to be spot on. So, you know, you learn how to have a steady hand. I try to make everything perfect, and I still try to have fun. Of course, after a long day of tattooing where everything has to be perfect, I mean, my paintings have to be perfect as well, but it's a lot more loose and free. And I can mess up if I want to and just go back over it, you know, it's no big deal. But yeah, I don't have any type of art degree or anything. I feel like I just try to make what I like and go from there. It is very time consuming, but the end result is what it's all about. Pretty much, I could honestly take any image. Usually, again, I take a lot of like vintage love comics or romance comics images, whether it be a guy or a girl or even both. Kind of cut them up and chop them up. Whether, again, I can cut half the face off, or, you know, I could put it in a shape or cut it in two pieces, and I kind of move around. I would say there is no rules to my madness. I kind of just go with the flow, and, you know, I design with the client so they kind of see what I'm doing, and we can always make some changes if necessary. I like for the client to be more involved with the tattoo design, more of like a collaborative, I would say, just so, you know, we both kind of are in the same zone at the same time. You know, I mean, we're tattooing obviously for a few hours, so, you know, just we're in the same vibe. I put it inside of a bold shape, like whether it be like a triangle or a broken piece of glass look. I take it out of the page, so, you know, it definitely stands alone, so it has a powerful front, and maybe I'll give it some background just to make it pop out a little more. And again, also it varies, you know, upon the body, whether it's the arm or the leg. You know, we can position it different, you know, so it has this nice space. And I feel like with my style, the imagery is so iconic that they stand alone well. The way I choose colors, I would say, is I kind of run with it. I mean, I always love red in the lips and maybe some accent colors on the outside. And I kind of just go with the client, you know, whatever they like. I wouldn't say the colors are important. Maybe the people from back then, they just used the basic, maybe 8 colors. I mean, I'm sure they could have mixed them. It's kind of just however the person wearing it feels, you know. The way I approach shading in my tattoos would be I try to stick to the reference as much as possible. I can change the contrast if anything, and I do make the image stand in the front with a little bit of background, just to give the main image a little bit more presence, to make it stand alone well. But the shading is kind of like coloring book. That gives it the pop. I mean, the imagery is what people have seen before, even if they cannot say, hey, is that a love comic or what issue or anything. People just know that they have seen that before, maybe from their parents or their parents' parents. They just have seen that imagery, or even like a Pinterest search, you know. It's just people love that imagery, and I mean, I love it too, so I just run with it. My process is kind of all over the place, I'll be honest. Sometimes I start in the middle, sometimes I'll start with the outside line. I think definitely depends how good or bad my stencil lays. I can go without the solid outline though, at least of the outside shape, and then just work my way in. And of course colors last, or you know, shading second and then colors last. And then we see if we need to add anything else, you know, just to make it pop a little more. I kind of try to have fun, you know. I let my clients sit there, so we both, you know, are looking at the iPad sometimes. Maybe I'll, you know, move around a little bit, but I let them see what's going on and kind of give them options, you know. Ultimately, I'm not the person wearing it. You know, I like so much things. Sometimes I cannot put everything that I like into every tattoo. You know, I always want my tattoos to breathe. You know, I definitely don't want you to put every single idea you had in your whole life into this one piece. You know, so sometimes I will plan them with the client, whether, you know, we're doing one piece and we're planning the next one, or kind of just go from there. My tattoo style pushing forward, I think worldwide. No, I mean, I definitely see a lot more people tattooing this stuff. I would not say that, oh, it's because of me or anything. I mean, the imagery I know that I use, obviously other people have drawn it. I just kind of change it a little bit. But I definitely see it becoming more popular. I see a couple people doing pop art stuff or something very similar, you know, and I feel like it's bubbling up there. It may not be, of course, as big as realism, because I mean, everybody loves realism, but I think it has its own, you know, lane there for sure. I think when I knew the style was mine, I ended up having a consult one time with this stewardess. And she said she was in Cancun, I think it was random day in Cancun, and she was on the beach and she had seen a tattoo that I did on a girl across the beach, and she went up to her and said, hey, you know, did this guy do the tattoo? And you know, she said yeah. So I feel like after she told me that, it's kind of like solidified my style, you know. If people can notice my work from across the beach randomly, you know, in Cancun, and I think both the people are from here, from New York, I think that's pretty, you know, it's pretty good. But yeah, that kind of solidified it for me. You know, people can spot my stuff across the block, you know, so I think that's always cool.